Next up, taking a peek at the steering wheel and the cluster screen inside of the Ford Explorer. This is the XLT trim level. So the cluster here is going to look pretty much identical in the XLT when you get inside of the Limited, and then a few other trim levels of the vehicle too. There are going to be some slight differences. But if you want to walk through on the fully digital screen or on the Sync 3 media screen, you'll find those walkthroughs down in the description of this video. Ooh, I'm like, why am I getting so toasty? Seats are turned on down there. So I guess that's the first thing to point out. There is the option for a heated steering wheel. So you can see that along the bottom right side of the screen. So you can toggle it on or off there. The steering wheel inside of the XLT is going to be manual telescoping. So just by your left knee, there's a release there. So you can go forwards, backwards, up and down to create that perfect position. Click it, lock it back into place. Stick on the left-hand side. There's a button on the tip of the stick to turn the lane keeping system on or off. So lane keeping and lane centering are two different things. Lane keeping will do one of three things. So it's either going to give you a little bit of a steering wheel shake, nudge you into your lane, or do a mixture of both. And that's if you start to veer over into a lane without signaling. So you can toggle that system on or off by pushing the button on the left stick there. You've also got your high beams that you can flash out there instead. Now, that's because I'm in the auto mode. That's why you can only flash them out for the lamps. So if you turn into one of the other modes, you can then push away if you wanted to permanently lock out your high beams instead. So that's how you're making it happen. It's just get out of the auto mode, because when you're in the auto mode, what it's going to do is if it recognizes it needs the high beams, it'll automatically turn it on themselves and then dim them as vehicles are oncoming. But you could flash, permanently lock them out if you wanted to. Along the left-hand side, that's where you're going in order to be able to adjust your front or your rear wipers. So there's a button on the tip of that stick in order to adjust your rear wiper. You can adjust the speed as well too by moving up and down this way as you go. I like the steering wheel though. So let's walk through some buttons. So these are going to be the controls for your adaptive cruise control system. So you can toggle the system on there, and then once you start moving, you can then go up and down in order to set your speed. And then you can increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time by moving up and down this way. This is a distance indicator. So you can see there as I go, it's shortening up. It's essentially how far do you want to be away from the vehicle in front of you when you're using the adaptive cruise control system. And then this one is the lane centering system. So lane keeping is going to nudge you back into your lane or give you a steering wheel shake, versus the lane centering system. When that one's activated, that's going to go green. And then as you start to drive and the vehicle recognizes the lane markings, it'll take you around bends and things like that automatically. You have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, or at least apply a little bit of pressure, but it's not fully self-driving. It is very, very close at the same time though, which is kind of nice. Beautiful system. But if you want a live example of using the adaptive cruise system, you'll find it down in the description of this video. These buttons are going to be for your volume, so you can increase, decrease volume, or mute out if you want to. Along the right side, you've got a voice command prompt. So you'll be able to do things like change songs, radio stations, you can navigate using your voice, and a few other things. If you were hooked up through Android or iPhone devices, you could also do a longer press and hold there in order to activate your Siri or Google Assistant. You can change between songs or radio stations, answer or hang up on a phone call, but these things also act as seek buttons too. So if you're on audio, ooh, hello audio. But let's say if you're on audio there, you could change this way if you wanted to go between different presets. But if you're on AM, FM, or Sirius XM, if you do a longer press and hold, that's going to let you seek. So you have to keep on pressing and holding in order to seek, but as it starts moving up and down, you can go that way instead. So you've got a few different options that are available there for actually seeking stations. But honestly, the big one, I'd say just get used to using the voice command prompt, because you can change out stations that way if you want to. These buttons are going to let you move between the different the cluster screen there. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see what's going on here. And all I'm doing, just using the buttons along the bottom right-hand side in order to navigate through this screen. But before I do, a few things to point out. You've got the tachometer off to the left with your current engine temperature, the current gear that you're in, so park, reverse, neutral, drive, or a dedicated low gear. Big benefit of that low gear, it's very useful if you're going to be towing a boat out of water, if you're doing heavy duty towing uphill, whatever the case may be. You've got currently going on with your fuel levels, and then your basic speedometer there too. Inside of the screen, it's which safety settings are activated. So you've got the lane keeping system, so I'm pushing the button on the tip of the left stick to turn the system on or off. You've got what direction you're currently facing, outside temperature, your current vehicle kilometers. So this thing's traveled 6.3 kilometers. And then how much fuel you have left to empty. So these two work tandem with one another. And then you've got a digital version of your vehicle speed. And then from there, we're just going to go up and down using the pad on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. So you can see there's a series of different screens that we're jumping in between by going up and down. We can kind of customize this a little bit, and I'll show you that one in a second. So you've got fuel economy, which you can reset by pushing and holding the OK button. In order to reset, it's the same idea with the trip counter. So if you wanted to reset the counter, press and hold OK, countdown, and you've reset. You can see tire pressure and then what's currently going on with radio. If you push your little menu button there, that gives you a series of other options. So the first one is going to be select screens. So you can do a calming screen instead, different trip counters, intelligent four-wheel drive, your off-road status, seat belts, auto start stop system, and things like that. So just going to put a few more screens on and hop back home. But as you can see there are a series of other options that are available now. So you can see what's going on with your vehicle turning radius there, and then your vehicle pitch and roll. So if you're off-roading, it's if your vehicle's side to side using this one, and then this one is if your vehicle's tilted forwards or backwards there at all. So useful if you're going off-road inside of the vehicle. And then you've got just a basic calming screen, which gives you just very limited information instead. So if you find this to be too distracting, just put on the calming screen and then just navigate to the calming screen by going up and down. So you can see there, we're in the calming screen now, and after a second, it just makes things a little bit cleaner in comparison. Back home, you've got the option to jump into audio, so AM, FM, Sirius XM, but you can do a button press there in order to be able to get to any of these other sources. Navigation, so if your vehicle had factory nav, and it's strictly for factory nav. So if you were hooked up through Android or iPhone, like using Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze, you couldn't use your navigation right through this screen. But you can look at previous destinations, point of interest icons, and a few other things. So let's say if you wanted to find some food nearby, tons of different options. So just going to select one of these things.
Obey traffic laws, be alert, and use voice commands while driving.
Why, thank you.
Please proceed to the highlighted route, and then the route guidance will start.
Why, thank you. So you can see there, so navigation is going, and you can cancel the route out right along the very top. So you're not going to have full mapping cluster or anything like that, unfortunately. That's something I'd love to see. Hopefully in the next generation Explorer, that does become available. Moving back home into phone. So if your phone was connected, you'd be able to see what's currently going on with missed calls, incoming calls, make phone calls, whatever the case may be. And then settings, if you're changing oil yourself, you could do a reset if you wanted to reset this back up to 100% again. So you'll notice, just depending on how long you've been driving for, you go from 0 to 100. So 100 is 100% oil life. And then obviously the longer that you go without servicing, that's going to eventually drop down to 0. But make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommendation for oil changes if you're doing it yourself. And back out into display setup. So you can have your speed available in either miles or kilometers per hour. So it doesn't change up, obviously, the speedometer along the right-hand side, but it would change up the dynamic look of the digital speedometer, which is kind of nice. Straightforward, though. So I know there's quite a few different options that are available there, but there's not too much stuff that you can even customize here either. So you can customize the subscreens, but outside of that, these things are all kind of stuck in place there. But that's everything you need to know about the steering wheel and the cluster screen in the Ford Explorer. If you're looking for a walkthrough on the Sync 3 screen or the fully digital one instead, like you'll find inside of the ST, the King Ranch, or the Platinum, you're going to find that down in the description of this video. If you found this one useful, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until I see you next time, take care.